happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. You guys can probably already tell it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely gonna want to see this one, as we're finally seeing leaked footage of the J6 hostages being interrogated by the FBI agents. And all I'm going to say is it's worse than we initially thought, guys. I'm excited to get to this one, so we're not straight into it. So make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Before we get into it, you guys, hit that like button, also hit that subscribe button for your boy. And without further ado, let's get straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
So, you know, we talked to your wife, kind of explaining what's going on right now, and what's going to happen throughout the day. Hopefully we'll get you a chance to talk to her a little bit later today. I know if I was in your shoes, a wife and a young kid, that's kind of what would be on top of my mind right now. So just want to let you know we're conscious of that, and we're trying to help you out on that front. I know all that. I've talked to a lot of people who knew you were there, and have already told me that. So I'm not here to get a confession out of you. I don't need it, to be honest. What I'm here today to do is to try to throw your life book. So right now, you're getting booked on several charges that carry decades worth of time right now. Those are maximums. You're not necessarily going to see all that, but 111B carries up to 20 years, 231 carries up to 10 years. Entering a protected place because Vice President Pence was there. It's a Secret Service protected area. That's a 5-year sentence as well. So looking at quite a bit of time right now. I'm not necessarily interested.
I'm not even a qualified interrogator or officer, any of that, but I can see this complete utter baloney, guys. Oh my goodness, the railroad we're seeing commencing in this clip, this little the little bit we've seen so far, I can say this is egregious. This is nasty work, and this right here is why I urge everyone, if you're in this little small room with these two interrogators, the only words that should be coming out of your mouth is, I need my lawyer present before I speak to you guys. Like, that's all, because oh my, listen to what they're saying. We're not even here for a confession. We've got you on 40 years. I'm throwing your wife a bone. Like, listen to these guys.
It's a Secret Service protected area. That's a 5-year sentence as well. So looking at quite a bit of time right now. I'm not necessarily interested in screwing Chris Quaggle. That's not what I'm out here to do. What I'm here looking at is organizations, big pictures, planning, casting a wide net. And right now, I don't think it's fair for all of that pressure to come down directly on you when I know there's others who are involved, others who are responsible. And the reason I wanted to drive up here today and talk to you rather than wait until after you've had your appearance and gotten an attorney and done all those other things is because this is an active, ongoing investigation. Time is of value to us and to you, as I'm sure you've seen on the news coverage, because I know you've been checking the web pages. We're arresting people every day. We arrested people yesterday. You're not the only person we're arresting today. We're arresting more people Thursday, Friday, over the weekend. You're like number 350 that we've arrested. A lot of those people are talking and giving us information which will lead to other people. I tell you that so that you know that this is kind of a time-sensitive proposal that I'm offering you right now. If we don't talk now, whatever information you may be willing to provide a month from now is not necessarily going to be of use to me anymore, because I'm going to get it from somebody else who we're going to arrest on Friday or next Tuesday or whatever it is. We just got them lined up right now. So I'm here to kind of throw you that raft right now to help you from drowning, basically, because I don't want you to go away for 40 years and not see your daughter grow up and force your wife. To be frank, like in the overall scheme of what happened that day, people died. 5 people died. We've got people with lifelong debilitating injuries. People have lost eyes. They've had limbs amputated.
The amount of baloney, I told you guys on the front end, like, come on. How many people passed away? I only know one, the reporter Ashley Babbitt. I remember I think it was a couple or a few Capitol Police that were injured, but people lost eyes, lost limbs. I might have missed a coverage or two because I did not see it. This right here, this is Railroading 101. They're basically saying, hey, we know you're guilty. We have everything we need on you. Just go ahead and tell us a little bit more about it. You know, tell on yourself, and it may lessen your sentence.
Debilitating injuries. People have lost eyes.
Where?
They've had limbs amputated. They've had traumatic brain injuries. To date, nobody that I've seen that you're on camera assaulting has had anything like that. So, you know, on the broad spectrum of things, like, you're not one of my most egregious. If when I get out of this room, I can call the United States Attorney and say, hey, I just spoke with Mr. Quaglin. You know, we talked through the whole thing. He's willing to cooperate, help, and do what he can. And then they stand in front of that judge when he's making a decision about whether you're going to be held pre-trial for 18 months or however long it's going to take for your trial to actually happen, or if there's things that can be done to maybe make it so that doesn't need to happen. No promises, but I can almost guarantee you, if we don't talk today, that's not going to happen.
There you freaking have it. A man who was exercising his constitutional right to protest was treated like a mafia informant. He was treated like a murderer, pressured to betray his family and the people around him so the regime could build up this fraudulent case, and they threw everything at him. You'll never see your family again. Oh, and just so you know, these charges that you're facing carry up to 10 and 20 years in prison respectively. They threw everything at this guy as if he was a freaking terrorist. And we know that that's the approach that they were taking, because that's really, what they've been saying in the media, that these people should essentially be treated as domestic terrorists. And so obviously the next question that now follows is, well, what exactly did this guy do to be facing all of this time in prison and to be treated with such aggressive tactics? And well, of course, that's where it gets 10 times worse. See, according to Chris and the evidence that he presents, he never actually hurt anyone or intended to act violently. He posted this photo of himself during the protest. He's this individual here, wearing the American flag sweater, and he wrote, "When Antifa pushes you into a cop, then you get 12 years because he said he hurt his back 4 months later and 2 weeks after FBI agent Benjamin Fulp says you didn't hurt anyone." Now, of course, we can't verify if the individual who pushed him is actually Antifa or not, but apparently he was pushed onto a Capitol Hill police officer and they gave him 12 years for that. And supposedly, the officer that was the victim here never said anything, and then randomly after 4 months came out to testify that he suffered a horrible back injury. The level of absurdity is just crazy. Oh, and I almost completely...
right here, we're seeing it. Truly, political hostages, these dudes were held captive. These folks that were simply just exercising constitutional rights turned into political prisoners. All because you got pushed into a Capitol police officer. Come on, you guys. It's all right here. These folks cannot get away with this. All these investigators that wrongfully railroaded, coerced these subjects into admitting the crimes they didn't commit need to be held accountable.
Back injury. The level of absurdity is just crazy. Oh, and I almost completely skipped the fact that the individual who was pressuring Mr. Quaglin in the video in the blue shirt, Mr. Benjamin Fulp, even at one point supposedly admitted that Quaglin never actually hurt anyone. So we had an individual here who was present during the protest, who got pushed onto a police officer. The police officer, from what we understand, initially never claimed to be injured, but then 4 months later came out saying he had a back injury. And Mr. Fulp, the cop who I guess was in charge of investigating this case, even admitted that nobody was seriously injured, yet they gave him 12 years. That's completely insane. That is just, it's insane. It's unjustifiable, especially considering all the violence that we saw coming from far-left agitators, Antifa types, Black Lives Matter protesters during the summer riots of 2020. We saw multiple police officers actually injured.
Facts.
We saw way worse actions, and the FBI barely lifted a finger. But with these guys, they took it to the next level. They threatened him with decades in prison and pressured him to flip on others, otherwise he would never see his family again. We also have this. Prosecutors urged the judge to sentence Quaglin to 14 years in prison. They said that he was one of the most violent rioters of January 6th when a mob of Donald Trump supporters disrupted the joint session of Congress for certifying President Joe Biden's 2020 electoral victory. The judge convicted Quaglin of 6 separate assaults on police, Prosecutors say that he struck or pushed another dozen officers. Now, we don't know the severity of any of these instances, and if anybody arguing that this guy was really so violent, well, I'd say please show us the video evidence.
Exactly.
I mean, if it was so bad, if he was such a violent actor on the day of, you'd think that we'd see the evidence by now, right? You'd think that they would have presented something, especially as the left has been going on and on about how violent and terrible the day was. You'd think that this would basically make their case, but we've seen absolutely nothing. Certainly nothing to justify 12 years in prison, not to mention the torture that they put this man through.
Christopher Quagland has been in custody since April 7th of last year, assaulting, resisting, impeding certain officers, using a dangerous weapon, a lot of allegations against him. He's in trouble legally and physically. He's lost 20 pounds since December. He's COVID-19 positive. He's in solitary confinement, and he has celiac disease, and his attorney tells us he's not being treated.
He is purposefully being starved. He's being denied medical treatment. This was recognized this week by multiple members of Congress. Just today, from the office of Congressman Clay Higgins, and Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene and 12 other signees sent a letter to the top dog in the Bureau of Prisons demanding answers about Christopher Quagland and demanding answers about other people who have been mistreated. But Chris is in dire need of medical help. He's at risk of dying right now.
Yo, there we have it, guys. That one coming from our friend Liberal Hive Mind. Definitely be sure to leave that original video link down in the description box below. For those who want to go over there, check that entire thing out. Also, you guys to go over there and show our friend Liberal Hive Mind tons of love, tons of support. He's a great guy. Oh my goodness, guys. This is what a weaponized justice system looks like. I mean, it's clear as day right in front of our faces. They tried to politically imprison Donald Trump supporters, and had he have not won that election November 5th, you know what would have happened. We would have had folks like Mr. Quagland still stuck in prison as a hostage, to this political warfare. It is truly sad to see. We're getting the leaks, we're seeing the videos, the way they coerced and forced, those confessions. That's unconstitutional, guys. We need to hold these folks, these interrogators over at the FBI, all these officials that were involved, accountable for it was criminal. They're criminal actions, guys. Definitely hop in the comment section. Let me know what you're thinking. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy more content like this, I'll catch you guys on the next one.